Hello and welcome to another wonderful StarCraft 2 commentary brought to you by XXSC2. I'm your caster V. Today we have the third game in the best of 5 for the 2011 Assembly Summer Finals between none other than here in the East spawning position on the GSTL GSL Terminus RE version of this map. We have mouzMaNa as the green Protoss, and he is playing the one, the only mtxDIMAGA. Here is the red Zerg in the north spawning position. Now these are the maps that have the little neutral supply depots at the bottom of the ramp. This, I believe, is because it prevents some sort of cheesy wall off. A lot of the pro level maps have things like that prevent cheese, because, you know, cheese can get the better of anyone, and pro cheesing is a little sad. It doesn't happen that often. I've seen it once or twice, but the measure of skill of these players is how they play a real game that doesn't involve all these cheap little tricks like walling your opponent into their base. However, in a map like this, most often you're going to see people protecting this corridor right here early in the game so they can have a secure expansion, which is exactly what Mana is doing right now. He's been doing this, he did this last game, to where he, instead of walling off his much smaller main ramp, he's walling off this corridor that goes into his expansion, so he has a secure expansion as long as he can prevent any quick Zergling pushes from his opponent, which he has not had to worry too much about in these previous 2 games. Now Mana is scouting. He, I believe, went down here, did not see anything, and has now found his Zerg opponent, and DIMAGA is going to quickly know where Mana is as well, getting an Overlord in there, and both players already taking the expansion. You often in pro play, that's pretty much what you see these days, is that expansion comes first. There's not a lot of early pressure. Zerg will get about 4 lings. Normally the lings are out before this hatchery is down. That tends to be more of Idra's level of play. Idra will not worry as much about this hatch because he knows especially his opponent is going to come in there and block it as best it can. He or she can. And so he works on getting out 4 lings, which at that point they can kill whatever's blocking here and get that expansion up pretty easily. And those 4 lings are really good for early scouting. Oh, they're not going to kill this probe. Oh, they're coming back for it. They saw it did not explode because the probes out all over the place. They can place proximity pylons that can be really dangerous. And that probe still yet lives. Maybe DIMAGA did not see it. 1 ling getting into the main base. Not sure 1 ling's going to be able to do much damage. Mostly just getting a scouting around. He might even be hard pressed to get a probe kill because 2 or 3 probes, yeah, they just chased him off. 2 or 3 probes is going to obliterate a Zergling. So it's mostly just a scouting Zergling. Both players have their second base is going up, and that Zergling did in fact eat it to several probes. I believe it was the gas mining probes. So the Zergling, you know, 25 minerals, probably slowed down Mana's gas production there for a second. But DIMAGA is not worrying about gas production. I believe he got 100 gas. He's not just now putting his drones back on gas. He got 100 gas. Probably for ling speed, which actually, yeah, or didn't get ling speed. He got, I'm not sure what he got. Maybe he just put him on there. Already taking his 3rd expansion. See, this I believe is a much better 3rd expansion than his 3rd expansion, or excuse me, 3rd base in the previous game. However, this is close by air. He does, however, have these overlords here to hopefully spot. Yes, and there is, in fact, a Stargate going down. Mana right now does not have a lot of production facilities. He's probably going to start dropping a crap ton of warp gates probably in this area because he's done that very similarly, and that's very, it's pretty standard Protoss play where you build this strong opening, prevent any sort of rushes or crap like that. You have the sentries that are very defensive units, and then you move in to producing a few specialized units, either out of a Stargate or out of a robotics facility, and then you just drop a crap ton of warp gates at the same time, and you just start producing stalkers like crazy. Both players not doing too much. Neither player really has much in way of army. Right now, Mana is getting a Void Ray, which he did use fairly effectively last game. Right now, DIMAGA getting a Roach Den, so now at the 8-minute mark, just starting to tech up. And he's getting Spore Colonies, and not around his mineral lines, so that might be to try to catch Spore Crawler there. Probably trying to get maybe Observers, or even DTs, perhaps, if here at the entrance to here. Now, the one thing to note about the second bases for all these... Oh my. Here comes the Void Ray. DIMAGA knows absolutely about it because it just blasted an Overlord that was... Now, I believe on a 1-to-1 combat between a Queen and a Void Ray, I think a Queen may win. Except that one's running away because it has the Reinforcing Phoenix. The Void Ray, with its 1 kill down already through its shields. DIMAGA does not have many options. Zerg does not have a lot of early anti-air other than the Queen. So right now he's producing 2 more Queens. Canceled those Spore, actually moved them up here. Alright, and a second Phoenix. Now this is an interesting, good little first push, I believe, for Protoss. It's fairly versatile. The Void Ray that does a lot of damage to the ground, and the Phoenixes that come around and take care of pesky things like, oh no. Alright, so the Void Ray, wow, Mana is the king of keeping a Void Ray at so little health. Oh my, and look at this sneaky little thing. Mana has brought a pylon up here, used the Phoenix to get some sight. Should probably be moving out with these Zealots very quickly before they are discovered if he wants to do much damage. Especially because there's a very large Roach army. Ah, there we go. So he was waiting for a second volley. So now we have 2 of his... Now here is the majority of Mana and DIMAGA's armies. It's currently just the Queens that are able to hit the ground units, so these Phoenixes are picking up the Queens, but there's too many Queens to deal with. The massive Roaches easily took care of all those Zealots. They're going to come and get this pylon very quickly. Oh, that hatchery might have some trouble as DIMAGA tries to take his 4th base. Roaches move in, though. They're going to take out that Stalker very easily, take out that probe, and definitely destroy that proximity pylon. That, I enjoyed that. That's very clever, going up here right into the main base. This ledge also good for, say, Reapers, if you were a Terran or playing Terran. I know I mention Reapers a lot just because I like the mobility of that unit. They're not very good late game, but in early game they do some really good harass if controlled well. They're very micro-intensive units. You can't really move with them because they're so weak. Alright, DIMAGA taking his 4th base, just as Mana is taking his 3rd base, and even distance mining the assimilator. Oh, I had not noticed this before, but this 3rd base down here only has 1 geyser and only 5 mineral fields, so it's kind of like half of a base, not even a full base. Alright, as far as tech goes, Mana is getting Blink, and DIMAGA is just building a crap ton of everything right now, spreading his creep so nicely. I love a Zerg who spreads gratuitous amounts of creep. The only downside is if it's against another Zerg player. But he is not playing another Zerg player. Alright, this might be a little bad. You see all these little Roaches doing a little jitter dance here? It's because they're blocked in. Especially playing Protoss, you have force fields, like one force field right there. And all of these roaches are sitting duck, and if they don't have sight up here, they just can't even shoot anything. So I would not, I think this is a slight misplay, putting his rally point all the way over here. I would probably put a rally somewhere else and have like one little wing right there. Probably be a little more advantageous. Ooh, and DIMAGA is preparing to expand right there. Very nice. Taking his 5th base. Okay, here comes mouzMaNa's army. Oh, and he did exactly 2 force fields, and all of those units are just toast. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go, mouzMaNa dropping a pylon to get some warp ins, and he very easily takes his position. He's got, oh, he did have an observer and was going to start clearing creep. Oh, but he's got this large stalker immortal mix. Oh, and there's corruptors on the field. The corruptors are probably in response to that aerial army. However, corruptors can be transitioned into brood lords. So they have some tech transitional qualities. I'm surprised he's not using like these corruption. Corruption would probably help a lot against especially these immortals. But they're kind of just chilling. He's probably macroing fairly heavy right now because most of his army has been destroyed, and he has this large stalker immortal mix in his base. So he is producing as many, producing 2 lords and 11 roaches right now, including expanding in 3 places. Oh, and he pushed it back. DIMAGA is going to be doing very well. However, the next push is coming very early. Because this proximity pylon is right here, all the immortals are gone. It's all stalkers. The stalker ball is a very potent mix. It's, I would say, better than the roach ball because it can shoot up. They cost more though. And they take down this hatch. Little does mouzMaNa know. I'm pretty sure that, in fact, let's see. He has no idea about all of those expansions going down. He was able to take down one of the big ones, and then he finally loses his force. Both players are accruing a lot of minerals right now. Let's go back to that under attack. Time to bring back the Phoenixes. They're very good scouting. mouzMaNa lost his eyes in DIMAGA's base. Oh man, but oh poor mouzMaNa does not know about those other bases. So if DIMAGA can get them saturated and producing, I mean, he's going to be maxed. He could max himself like 3 times over, lose his entire army, and rebuild it completely a couple times without incident. Getting this base back up. Oh no. mouzMaNa is seeing these drones transfer and harassing them a little bit, so he probably knows there's a base over here, but does he know there are in fact 3 bases? Doing some drone harass here. It doesn't really, it's not too effective this late in the game, especially when DIMAGA's on 7 bases, where the majority of his food is in drones. And mouzMaNa's forces, we got a mix here. It's mostly zealots and stalkers, single immortal. Oh, and the flow of lings. I love massive lings. They look so cool when they're moving around in mass. They flow like little bits of water. It's a river of speedlings, especially when they're on creep. They just move so quickly. And he's getting the attack. He's getting melee attack up. So this heavy melee army that's largely lings. We have four tabs of lings. Wow, those Phoenixes are still not down. They've probably taken all the bases right now. Drones continue to be transferring. Units continue to be made. And, alright, here might be the final confrontation. mouzMaNa moving out. He probably wants to blink the stalkers back so all of these zealots have all of their... Oh, but he's
slinking forward, trying to trap all of those roaches. All these corruptors, come on, do some good. Taking down that. So now the ground army of DIMAGA has been taken care of, but the air army of Mana has been destroyed. And he still has this fairly potent force. It's small this far into the game, and the disparity right now is immense. There's about a 60-foot difference. However, keep in mind that DIMAGA has a ridiculous amount of workers. Let's go to the units tab. He has 92 workers versus Mana's 64. Mana has only 13 stalkers right now. Oh my god. 12 roaches, 3 corruptors against a small ball of forces. Corruptors retreat. They do not have any energy, so they are sitting ducks. Oh, and 4 broodlords. Alright, so poor Mana has to GG. He does not have anywhere near the production facilities, the income that DIMAGA has managed to amass. He has been, so probably what Mana did was that he was forcing into these through this area every single pushing attack. He did not try to, say, move out over here or come in here and attack with, like, maybe some void rays. Try to take out these fairly completely undefended expansions that have been left to sit there for a long time. So he had been mined out of his main, nearly out of his expansion, and then this sort of mini expansion was also down too. So that last push, that was probably about the extent of his abilities. He does not have the income to rebuild right at that point. As you can see, he only had 100 minerals, 138 gas, really far down on the food count. He just could not recover from the massive economy of the Zerg opponent. And this becomes the danger when you're playing a Zerg opponent. You cannot let them expand as much as they want, and DIMAGA only lost this expansion once. He did not lose any of his 6 other bases ever. So he pretty much could make whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He had a ridiculous amount of gas. 1,151 gas at the end. Just a ridiculous amount. He could fund as many broodlords as he wanted. He had all of these drones everywhere. So it was just, Mana could not hold back the swarm. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and we're moving on to Game 4.